I didn't expect much from my 30th birthday. That part matters, because it explains why I wasn't immediately angry. I woke up late, made my own tea, checked my phone out of habit more than hope. There were a few messages, colleagues, an old university friend, a reminder from my bank. Nothing from my family, but that wasn't unusual. We weren't the kind of people who remembered dates unless they were public enough to perform. Around noon, I opened Facebook. The photo was bright, almost aggressively so. Blue water, white sand, the kind of sky that looks edited even when it isn't. My mother was in the center, smiling in a way I hadn't seen in years. My sister leaned into her. My father stood slightly behind them, sunglasses on, arm draped casually like he belonged in that picture. The caption read, "A wonderful day for a wonderful family." I stared at it longer than I should have. Tahiti. They'd flown to Tahiti, together. Quietly, without me. There's a moment when something clicks, not loudly, not like a realization in a movie, but like a quiet alignment. Pieces that were always there just settle into place. I typed one word, why? I didn't expect an answer. Or maybe I expected something vague. Last-minute plan, you were busy, we thought you wouldn't want to come, my father replied within minutes. We didn't want to waste our time on a clown, it was so clean. No emojis, no softening. Just a sentence that didn't hesitate. I read it twice. Not because I didn't understand, but because I wanted to be sure there wasn't another way to interpret it. There wasn't. I smiled, though there was no one around to see it, not out of amusement. Just recognition. The kind you get when something finally stops pretending to be something else. I typed back. Surprise waiting for you. Then I closed the app. 2 weeks is enough time to calm down. It's also enough time to decide whether you were ever actually angry. I wasn't. That confused me at first. I kept waiting for it. Some surge of humiliation, some need to respond, to explain, to fix. But what I felt instead was administrative. There's no better word for it. I reviewed things. Quietly. Methodically. My father liked to tell people he built everything himself. It was a good story, it sounded strong. Independent. It wasn't entirely true. 5 years ago, when his business started slipping, I stepped in, not publicly, not in a way that changed his story. I handled accounts, renegotiated contracts, moved things around so the decline looked like stability. I didn't correct him when he took credit. It didn't feel important then. Over time, certain things ended up in my name, not out of strategy, out of convenience. A signature here, an account there. Responsibilities accumulate that way, quietly, without ceremony. I never thought of it as leverage, until I did. The process wasn't dramatic. No confrontations, no late-night calls. Just paperwork. Meetings with people who didn't ask about family dynamics. Only authority. Are you sure you want to proceed? Yes. Do you anticipate dispute? No. They nodded, stamped, filed. The kind of authority that doesn't raise its voice, because it doesn't need to. I didn't rush. I didn't delay either. There's a rhythm to these things if you let them unfold. They came back on a Thursday. I know because the first call came Friday morning. It was my sister. She didn't say hello. What did you do? Her voice wasn't angry. It was thin, stretched around something sharper. Panic, maybe. I'm at work, I said. What's wrong? Our cards aren't working. Dad's accounts, something's frozen. We called the bank and they said. She stopped. They said to talk to you. There was a silence then. Not empty. Just, adjusting. I see. I said. What do you mean you see? Her voice cracked slightly. Fix it. I didn't answer immediately. Not to create tension. Just because I didn't feel the urgency she did. I can't fix it, I said finally. It's already been processed. What does that even mean? It means the accounts were restructured. Access changed. Why would you do that? That question lingered. Not because it was hard, but because it arrived too late. I'll call you back, I said, and ended the call. My mother called next. She was crying before I picked up. You've made some kind of mistake, she said. Your father, he's very upset. This is not how we handle things. Handle things. I almost asked her how we did handle things. But I didn't. It's not a mistake, I said. You don't understand the consequences. She continued, her voice softening into something that used to work when I was younger. We are a family. I let that sit between us. Yes, I said, I know, then fix it. I won't. The silence this time was heavier. Not confused, just unfamiliar. You're hurting us, she said. I didn't respond to that, not because it wasn't true, but because it wasn't new. My father waited until evening. His call was different. No panic, no tears, just a controlled urgency. Enough, he said after I answered. This isn't funny. I don't think it is. You've made your point, now reverse it. It wasn't a point. A pause longer this time. Listen, he said, adjusting his tone. We're family, whatever this is, this reaction. It's unnecessary, you're overreacting. I thought about the word reaction. It implied something sudden, emotional, temporary. I made a decision, I said. Based on what, a joke? It didn't feel like a joke. Another pause. I could almost hear him recalculating. Fine, he said, softer now. If I went too far, I'll say it. I shouldn't have said that. Is that what you want? It was the closest thing to an apology I'd ever heard from him. I considered it, not emotionally, structurally. No. I said no, I don't want anything. That's not how this works. I almost smiled again. It is now. We didn't resolve it that night. Or the next mass came. Some angry, some pleading, some trying to sound normal as if normality could reset things. I read them. I didn't ignore them out of spite. I just didn't feel compelled to answer. There's a difference. What surprised me wasn't their reaction, it was the space that followed. Quiet. Unclaimed. Mine for years, I thought staying was neutral. That not responding, not pushing back, not leaving, it kept things balanced. It didn't. It just kept things the same. I don't know what happens next. Maybe they adjust. Maybe they don't. Maybe one day we sit in the same room again and speak carefully around what's missing, or maybe we don't. But the version of me they left behind, the one in the comments section, asking why, he doesn't exist anymore. And I don't feel the need to explain that to them.